do this shit! Triple THS is brought to you by DraftKings.com and the support of 153 Patreon backers like you. Alright, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up, you fucking goofs. Australia, I fucking love you crazy fuckers. We lose our main event on the day of the event, which featured your biggest star, and you fucking clown shoot sons of bitches showed up anyway. I fucking love it. This is why we come here. Who's got questions? Dana, how big of an impact did losing the main event have on this card? Did you not just hear me, dipshit? Everybody showed up. I couldn't be happier. Every time something blows up in my face, the outcome ends up even better. Connor throws a dolly at a bus and gets arrested. We make the biggest pay-per-view of all time. We gotta move a whole event because John fucking Bones fucking Jones fucking's a fucking goof. We lose a little gate and the pay-per-view sells a fuck ton. We lose Robert Whittaker the day of the event because his fucking guts are falling out. Now everybody's fucking jacked for Silva Adesanya. I literally can't fucking lose. Robert Whittaker, thank you for coming here right after a surgery when you should most definitely be recovering in a bed instead of talking to us. What exactly happened? How did you know something was wrong? And when can we expect you back? Well, my stomach's not feeling like my insides were coming out, so my team forced me to go into the hospital, even though I wanted to just fight through it. I mean, I went 10 rounds with Yoel Romero. How bad could my bowels being pushed out of my body be? But they wore me down and I got the surgery, and now the doctor said I can get back in there in 4 to 6 weeks, so fingers crossed. Matt Damon said it's gonna take more time than that. I'm sorry, man. Goodwill Hunting, what the fuck you gonna do, you know? Well, hopefully Matt Damon's wrong. He's not. He's fucking Jason Bourne. Kelvin Gastelum, you were walking around all night with a UFC title. You still have it there with you. I'm sure not getting to fight on the day of the card had to feel devastating. Are you okay, man? In wrestling, when you show up and your opponent doesn't, you win. I showed up, Robert didn't, and I hope he's okay. But by the powers invested in me by the NCAA, I'm now UFC champion. You look fucking ridiculous with that thing, man. Hey, fuck you, dude. You know how hard it is to get a fucking title fight in the UFC? Even if I have a belt, I'm not fucking guaranteed a fight. And then you go out there and you win against Anderson Silva, and everybody's talking about you and Whittaker. Fuck you, man. If carrying around a pretend belt is gonna ensure that the title fight that I rightfully earned isn't taken away from me, then I'll carry this shit around until the next fight. Ask Colby Covington how that worked out. I'm just fucking with you, Kelvin. You're probably gonna get the fight so long as you're constantly healthy and ready to go from now until whenever we have the fight. Speaking of your health, Kelvin, you had some strange markings on your face and neck this week. What was that about? Yeah, I have a staph infection. I'm actually wearing a ton of cover-up right now. I look like the bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark who looked at the Ark of the Covenant when they opened the box. But I wasn't about to let an infectious bacterium that can be fatal if it enters my bloodstream stop me from achieving my dreams. Well, that would have been the cherry on top for me if I pushed through to the fight. Not only was I going to try and throw down with my guts hanging out, which would have killed me, staph infection you gave me probably would have made my guts explode. What a fucked up week for me. All this after I had 10 rounds with Yoel Romero. What the fuck? This question is for Anderson Silva. Anderson, you hung in there with this younger, faster, huge rising star. You defied the odds. Everyone thought you were going to get destroyed, and you put on an amazing show. Do you think this is a good time to walk away from the sport? Walk away? No, you're crazy. I beg, trust me. That was the great show. Anderson, a young man, only 43. I still have 10 years left for me. Yeah, it's normal, you guys. I want to fight in Brazil, in my country, and be the great show against Nick Diaz again. Because penis drugs make this a no contest, and I owe him a contest. I fucking love that fight. Connor also mentioned being interested in fighting you, Anderson. Connor is the great show. It's normal for us to fight, yeah. Wait, what? Fucking goddamn it, Connor. Will somebody take his fucking Twitter away? No, fuck that shit. Fuck that fight. Connor also said he would fight Nate on the same card in Brazil that Anderson fights Nick. So you're telling me that my fighters want to have a double Diaz-Connor-Anderson card in a Brazilian football stadium? How much did we sell the UFC for? 4-point-something billion. Yeah, well, you can fucking double it if we get that card done. The problem is getting the fucking Diaz brothers on board. So you might as well get as excited about this card as the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes you entered. That shit's never gonna fucking happen. Anderson, what was it like fighting Israel in there? Was normal, yeah. He's young, fast, great show, you guys. This was Interdash because he go, whoop. And then I go, whoop, and then we do this for all the rounds. But he faster than Anderson because I'm 43 and no penis drugs. But it was fun. It was like I find myself in the great show for the fans of the UFC and the world. Israel Adesanya, you and Anderson put on a show out there tonight. You've now won 5 fights in a row in the UFC in just a year's time. What's next for you with all this momentum? Before I talk about what's next, put some respect on that man's name. Anderson Silva's a living legend. He was my Morpheus. He showed me what the Matrix is. Now I can see the code like Neo. Tonight was like Luke going into the cave in Dagobah. Now I'm heading to Cloud City to fight Vader. Tonight was like the mirror match in Mortal Kombat on the way up the tower, and now I'm at Shao Kahn. What's next for me is going home, eating some pizza, and watching some hentai while the UFC figures out who is fighting me next for that belt. I don't care who it is, but the belt is next. And how about the pay-per-view points, because motherfuckers are trying to eat. What's that, pay-per-view points? Let's wrap this up. Later, you fucking goofs.